Are you wanting to plan a trip, but you're worried that it's going to be too expensive? In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can save money on all of your travels. A lot of people think wanting to go traveling is going to cost you a fortune, and that's why a lot of people get, held back in why they're not traveling. But I'm here to tell you there's so many different ways to save. Now, I'm just checking my notes here, but there's so many ways. First, I'm going to give you 3 different ways to save money on your travels, and then I'm going to give you some more information. So first one, I'm going to give you the top 3 for the 3 most expensive things on your trip. So the first one is your flights. Now, for your flights, you don't want to travel during high season. Now, high season obviously is the busiest season there is in travel, so you want to avoid those times. Travel in the shoulder season or the low season. That way you're going to find much cheaper prices because not everyone is trying to get on that plane. Second one is going to be your accommodations. Now, with your accommodations, there's so many different ways that you can travel and stay in different places. Most people only think about hotels and resorts. Now, those are your most expensive options. Now, one that I would suggest is hostels. Now, everyone that I say that to goes, you know, they think of it as like a really terrible idea because all they think about are, dorm rooms with like 20 other people and just, probably 19-year-olds, and everyone's out to party. There are so many different types of hostels. I've stayed in many, and I stayed in my first one when I was in my 30s. So they are out there. I've met people from, 19 all the way up into their 70s staying at hostels. There's different options too with hostels because you don't just have to stay in a dorm room. And dorm rooms also come in many different sizes. I've stayed in just all female dorm rooms. I've stayed in ones where there's only 4 of us. I would not suggest going higher than like maybe 6 or 8 people in a dorm room. But you can also get private rooms, which most people don't realize. Now, there is benefits to staying at a hostel because you have more abilities to meet other travelers. So that's a really great thing to do, and you can also cut down on costs, sharing some meals and whatnot. And then another option, if that one really scares you, is Airbnb. So Airbnb, most people just think about renting it out the whole place. But what you can do is you can rent out a room. So if it's just you or maybe you and your partner, you can rent out a room. You get to stay with a local, have local knowledge, have someone there to ask questions all the time, and it's going to be much cheaper than renting out the whole space itself. So if that works for you, then that is another great idea. Now, next one is all about food. Now, food is another costly thing to do on your trip, but there are so many ways to cut down the costs. I'm going to give you a couple because there's just too many to choose from. Now, first you want to live like a local. Don't go out for every single meal. That's where the cost goes all the way up. So you want to bring that cost down. Grocery stores are your friend, which are a great place to like really experience the culture because you get to see what types of food is in there. I love visiting grocery stores in every country I go to. I don't know if that's just me, but go there, pick up some stuff for, breakfasts or lunches, go home, make a meal for yourself, and then you can go back out again. So cut down your costs getting food like a local, like you do at home. Another thing that you can do is eat 2 meals a day instead of 3. So maybe say do a breakfast and a late lunch. Now, late lunch menus are usually pretty similar in restaurants, so you want to do a late lunch, but it's going to be much cheaper than going into the dinner time. Now, if you get hungry, because they usually have set times, or you can go a little bit later in the afternoon. If you get hungry in the evening, then you can just go out for dessert, Works for me. And then lastly, you want to also eat where the locals eat. So don't search out for places that you know are familiar. Look for the local restaurants. Look for the ones that are not, out there yelling your name or getting you to come in, that have English speaking menus and all that stuff. Find out where the locals are going. First, you're going to get way better food. And then second, the costs are going to be much more less expensive. So definitely put those 3 tips into your little jar and make sure you include those on your next trip planning. Now, there are so many other ways to save. This is basically just the tip of the iceberg on how to do that. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!